Hi, I'm Brian with Pioneer Builders. This home on Mountain View Drive in Allen, Washington is up for sale. Come and enjoy the tour. As you come into the front door, you're greeted by this AGS stainless steel guardrail with an Ipe cap. Keep that in mind as you'll see this translate over to the deck off the back of the house. Now come on in for the tour. Well, welcome to the inside of the Mountain View home. You come into the entry, and the way the traffic pattern works is you come in off the garage, you can go upstairs, or we can go into the great room. Let's go ahead and focus on the entry a little bit. As we come in, you can see the open stairs here. That allows natural light to filter through. It just leads to a more spacious feeling. There's 9-foot ceilings on the main level. On this portion of the house here, we actually have a concrete slab, and underneath the entire slab is insulation, as well as up the slab edges. As we come in, there's some storage underneath the stairs. Let's face it, you can never have enough storage. And then there's also the coat closet right off of the entry. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the powder room. As we come into the powder room, you can see that there's a window in there for not only daylighting, but also ventilation as need be. And then to the left, we have a single basin sink, solid surface countertop, and it is also an undermount sink. There's a single lever faucet, which makes it easier to control the water. And then we have a 3-lamp light fixture and a framed mirror. As we come around to the right, we can see the water closet. And again, above the water closet, we also have some natural light coming in. There's very quiet ventilation in here. This fan can actually be set for 50, 80, or 100 CFMs. As we come in from the entry into the great room, you can see this is really an open plan. Again, we have 9-foot ceilings in here, and in this whole room, all of the lighting is up at the ceiling level. We have a nice view of Case Inlet out of all of these rear-facing windows, and so that by having the lights up in the ceiling, it allows even more of a view, just less distraction for the eye. In the great room, we have true solid hardwood floors. Now, one thing that we do at Pioneer Builders is we wait until the house sells, and right before the buyers move in, we lightly sand it and put one more coat of finish on. That gives the buyers just an absolutely beautiful floor by the time they move in. If you treat a hardwood floor right, it can last for maybe 100 years, as opposed to a veneered floor or an engineered floor. We really like using this type of a flooring. Then we have something that is in style right now. It's a shiplap clad fireplace. And then we have that nice wood band that goes over the top. It's a propane fireplace. The only 2 appliances in this house that are propane is the fireplace as well as the stove. Right behind here we have a little chase so that if somebody wanted to, they could mount a television up here and then run their wiring over into this location. Again, we've got a nice view, and as we come around, we can see this nice sliding glass door, and we also have a transom light over the top. We'll go ahead and stop this clip here and pick up over in the kitchen. Now I'd like to point out a few features of the kitchen. As you look at it, it's a U-shaped kitchen, and there is a ton of cabinet space in here. We have white perimeter cabinetry and then a wood stained island. We have a nice overhang to the island here. This can be used for baking, for cooking, for the kids doing homework. And if you could see behind you, this extends into the great room. So this is really one large room to be able to live together. We have full extension, soft close drawers. And then we also have soft close hinges for the doors. If you take a look, you'll see that we also have cabinet hardware on all of the cabinetry that's operable. We have a pull-out faucet here, and then we have a food disposal under the sink. As we come around, you'll see that we have a propane-fired stove, and that's stainless steel. The dishwasher is also stainless steel, and this is Energy Star rated. For ventilation, we have a microwave hood, and then again we have a window. You'll notice throughout the entire house, we have a lot of windows to allow natural light to come in. As we come around, we have a pantry cabinet for storage, we have a refrigerator, and then for heating and cooling, if you take a look up here, we have a ductless mini split. That provides for inexpensive heating, but as temperatures seem to keep rising, it also allows for air conditioning in the summertime. So this is what heats and cools the main level. We also have in the entry, as far as heating, is a little cadet heater. I don't think anybody's ever really going to need it, but it's there in case it's needed. Now let's go ahead and head upstairs. Now that you've come upstairs, you can see how the traffic lays out here. Down this way would be probably the children's bedroom or offices, things like that. We also have a little niche right here that has a receptacle. So if you wanted, you could even have a little computer station here. This is the fresh air system for upstairs. It's an ERV, also known as an enthalpy core or an enthalpy recovery ventilator. Basically what it does is it takes out old stale air from the house, exhausts it, and then it also brings in fresh filtered air from the outside. As it does that, there's what's called an enthalpy core. What that does is it allows these two air streams to get close to each other but not actually mix. So that means the air that you've heated inside the house ends up transferring some of its heat energy to the incoming airstream that might be cold. It also allows for the transfer of moisture. Basically, this house has a very airtight building envelope. You want that in order to save money. But at the same time, as humans, we want to breathe fresh air. So that's the system to do that. There's a hall closet right here. It's got 4 shelves. It's a nice linen closet. And the controls for the ERV are in here. This is also where the low voltage is for a router, modem, and that type of thing. Now let's go ahead and head down this hallway and we'll check out the bedrooms, bathroom, and utility room. Now let's do a tour of the kids' wing. To the left, we have our main bathroom. We have a tub shower combo in here. Likely this is where the kids would end up bathing, so it made sense to have a bathtub. Then we also have our toilet, and as we come around, we can take a look at the cabinetry. We have a single lever faucet. We have pop-up drains. That's a nice feature. Those are throughout the house. Then we also have top left and right drawers, and then we have ample storage underneath. Right behind the door, we have this nice linen or pantry closet. You can pretty much never have enough storage. As we come around, we have back-to-back bedrooms. Each of them have windows, and there is also closets in each one of these bedrooms. Something we might draw attention to is modern building codes require smoke detectors. Specifically, they require carbon monoxide detectors in a specific way. So current built homes tend to be safer than existing homes. Now we have the utility room. It's nice to have a room. The utility room on the main level is the bedrooms. We've got the washer hookup and dryer hookup. And then we also pre-plumbed in case somebody would like to do plumbing in there. And then over the top they could put cabinetry. Now here's a tour of the master bedroom. We've got a nice vaulted ceiling, nice luminescence as far as the light fixture is concerned, and there is a lot of square footage here. Something else that we did is we put his and hers lighting over the bed. Each person has their own controls. As you look around, we've got a window on each side flanking the bed, and then this view is amazing. The Pacific Northwest gets such a variety of weather. This view, I don't think will ever get old. As I already said, there's a lot of square footage in here. This could be a nice reading nook. And then as we come around, we did the same thing here that we did downstairs over the fireplace. That is to say, we could put a television up here and then conceal the wiring and have it come down here. From the master bedroom, we can step right on in to the master bathroom. The master bathroom features his and hers sinks, single lever faucets, solid surface countertops, pop-up drains. In this case, we went ahead and put in a double duplex receptacle because, let's face it, there's a lot of things to plug in a bathroom. Again, we have our framed mirrors. We have lighting over each one of the vanities. And as we come around, we can also see that there's a nice amount of cabinetry underneath. Here we've featured tile. It's looking like planks from hardwood. Then we have a soaking tub. It has a handheld shower. And take a look at that view. Just phenomenal. Coming around, we have a walk-in shower. We've got a tile surround. And again, we have quiet exhaust fans throughout the entire house. But in some of the rooms, we've integrated lighting with it. I'll turn off the light. And you'll see that it also has a nightlight option. Something else that we've done is when we've got bathing rooms is we put relative humidity sensors in, and you can adjust that so that we make sure to get humid air out of the house. Coming around, this house features a water closet for the master wing. We have a window in here that we could use for ventilation, but then we have a completely separated toilet, which leads to nice privacy. Behind the door, there's plenty of room if somebody wanted to put in shelving or some kind of furniture or even cabinetry, a mirror, artwork, something like that. When it comes to the master closet, that's right off of the bedroom. We've got upper and lower shelving and a bank of shelves. Coming around, we have a window for daylighting. And then on the left side, we also have a bank of shelves and high and low shelving. While it may not be the most exciting part of the house, there are some features in the garage that are worth pointing out. It's a 2-stall garage, and we went ahead and added insulation to the door. It has a garage door motor that's a LiftMaster and it's Wi-Fi enabled, so that can be handy. Outside of this, there's a keypad. The keypad can actually be set up for a one-time use or something like that. I confess I haven't actually had to use it myself, but it's so that the code would end up expiring rather than having to give out something private to other people. We have a receptacle here that could be used for car charging. It's an updated panel with the most current technology that the electrical code requires, but we went above and beyond and actually put a surge protector at the panel. If there's an electrical problem, you can lose a lot if there's a surge that ends up damaging your appliances. We also set up the panel with a disconnect switch or a changeover switch so that you could plug in a generator on the outside. This house is a very low load home. We have 2 compressors, 2 heat pumps for heating and cooling, and that uses a minimal amount of energy. The water heater too can be in a heat pump only mode, it can be in a hybrid mode, which means that it involves the heat pump and the electrical element. or it could be switched over to be using electric only. The point is, you can really run this house very efficiently. Pretty much all of the lighting is LED. It's already been commented on as far as what was a propane unit. So working off of a generator is very doable. And as the weather seems to be changing, I think it's important for people to not always have to rely on the grid for their electricity. We went through this A.O. Smith heat pump water heater. Something we didn't mention though is it actually has a recirc pump. It's kind of a spread out house insofar as you have an upper level, a main level, and then there's a basement which we'll go to next. So if somebody chose, they could use the recirc pump, and that will circulate warm water through the house so that when you turn on the tap, you have warm water pretty much instantaneously. Now that's not the most efficient way to run though, because the fact is you might not be home during the day. So you can actually set the timer so that maybe you have it run from 6 o'clock to 9 in the morning, and maybe from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock at night, and then you're able to save the electricity while still gaining the comfort. So I think that's a nice feature for people to have. Now let's go down into the basement. To gain access to the basement, we went ahead and did concrete steps all the way down. On the left side, we have our generator plug in there. We have our electrical meter, and then we have a hose bib. This heat pump here serves the main level, and it also serves the ducted unit that's concealed upstairs. You'll notice that the steps go a few steps to a landing. A few steps to a landing. This is a pretty comfortable walk to get down into the basement. As we come around the corner, you can see that there's a pretty large concrete pad, and we cantilevered the deck. We did that because now you don't have these posts in the way. Now from here you can see as the day has progressed, the fog has come in, but it is still a very, very beautiful view. This is what the view looks like from around the corner, and this is the entrance to get into the house. Welcome to the mother-in-law suite. This is a very comfortable place. It would be absolutely perfect for a mother-in-law, a college graduate. It's completely self-contained from the upstairs. In fact, it even has its own heating and cooling down here. So it's fully air conditioned, and it's a very comfortable place. We've designed it so that probably a television would be put here, the entertainment center, and we even pre-designed it and installed some of the rough-in hookups in case somebody wanted to convert this into a little kitchen. There's a refrigerator. Behind here we have a duct for ventilation. We could even put a microwave hood here. And then on this side we have connections for a kitchen sink, for a dishwasher. And so this would be sort of the living room, you might say. While the building code doesn't require it, we did put insulation underneath the entire slab, and then it comes up at the slab edges. And then the walls, where it's not concrete, are especially thick. And even where it is concrete, we have insulation behind the studs to help with thermal bridging. Thermal bridging is basically where some materials transfer heat better than others. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't want that. Imagine having a glass cup, a metal cup, and a wood cup. If you put cold water in those, the glass cup and the metal cup would tend to sweat on the outside. Water would condense. As opposed to the wood cup, it's more thermally resistant to heat transfer. Well, when it comes to insulation in a wall, the insulation is more resistant in comparison with the wood. So heat is going to want to go through that wood more. So what you can do is what's called continuous insulation, and that's putting insulation behind that wood. And so that's what we have down here. That's part of what helps lead this to be such a comfortable room. Something else to note in here is we have a separate fresh air system. So we talked about this earlier in this series. This allows fresh air from outside to be filtered and be brought in, and cool air, or old stale air, to be extracted. Now, something I do want to mention. You might choose to have your windows open, and that is perfectly fine. But when it is really cold, or when it is really hot, this really makes a lot of sense. And you might be surprised at how much air the human body actually needs. We're breathing in, breathing out. We want to make sure that we're keeping our bodies healthy. And just opening windows may not actually be getting all of the fresh air that we think we would be getting. That's why the codes have shifted toward bringing in mechanical ventilation. Mechanical ventilation is just another way of saying ventilation that's brought in through fans. It's designed into the system. And so in this case, this is how we've designed it. Now we can come into the sleeping and bathing part of the house. Here we chose to have a walk-in shower. Again, if this was a mother-in-law apartment, it makes a lot of sense to be able to step into the shower. It's just safer. There's benches on either side, and there's also areas for shampoos and soaps. Nice ledge there. As we come around, while this is a basement, we've definitely illuminated it well. We have a 3-lamp fixture in here. Here we had a little bit more fun with the picture frame for the mirror. In fact, I think that is one mirror integrated with the picture frame. Granite countertop, undermount sink, ample place to place objects to the left of the sink. We have a bank of drawers, as well as there's storage underneath the sink. As we come around, we can check out the bedroom. The bedroom is a pretty large size. It's got a large window in there, which lends itself to having a very nice view. We have a closet, and this is the sub panel for the basement. I think the sewer system might actually be wired up with that. And then we do have a cadet heater in here, although the way we've constructed the building, I don't think it's really ever going to be needed. And that brings us to an end of the basement. There is one last item that I wanted to feature, and that's this AGS stainless steel deck. You might remember at the beginning, when we walked through the entry, this is the same design. I think it's spectacular. It allows for the sightlines to be clean, but it doesn't require the tensioning that you might be required to do when it comes to cable railing. So I really like this. Thanks for joining me on this tour. It's currently for sale, but even if you're not interested in buying this home, maybe you learned a little something. Maybe about interior design, maybe about traffic flows, maybe about building science. Whatever the case, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a good day.